go, baby. So how was your fishing, coho fishing this fall? Some people have been asking me that question, and it's really a mixed answer. I've got to say that it didn't totally pan out the way I expected. You know, back in June and July, I was getting really good reports about the coho fishing in Georgia Strait, both from guides and recreational anglers. In fact, because of the abundance of coho, they were saying it was difficult to get Chinook because as soon as they put their lures down, they'd be hooking up with coho just time and time again and couldn't keep them off, you know. That's fishing. That's the kind of fishing I like. But my thoughts immediately turned to the fall, turned to the beaches around home here and other places on Vancouver Island in late September, early October, and I was just really salivating at the chance to get out there and do some fishing and see those numbers of fish. Needless to say, it didn't turn out exactly as I planned. It was much more work and more difficult than anticipated. Not entirely sure why, but I'll explain a few things. So after my guiding season at the Tai pool was over in mid-September, I turned to the beaches around home. And in some estuaries, I did see huge numbers of fish. They were really well populated, in fact, better than I'd seen in decades. So my hopes seemed to be coming realized, you know. But those were bluebird days. Very flat, calm, blue skies, very bright. Not the kind of conditions I like to fish in. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I like to fish in southeast storms, heavy rain, wind. Those conditions really turn the coho on and make them bite aggressively. Now, that might sound like an excuse to some anglers, and maybe it is. A really good angler should be able to pick up some fish in less than ideal conditions. And I'll have to admit, my efforts at that time of the year were somewhat truncated. I'd go out for an hour or two, not get anything, and then head home and do something else. At the same time, I was seeing a lot of other anglers out there and very, very few fish hookups. So it wasn't encouraging. And so I was just biding my time. I knew the weather was going to come and I'd get my chance. Well, I was right about that. And unfortunately, the weather conspired against me and came exactly when I had to be away at the end of September. I was able to spend 5 days down island, Victoria, and with my kids and grandkids. We're celebrating my birthday. We had my mom there. She was able to see and meet her great-grandchildren, and it's a weekend I wouldn't give up for anything. But that's exactly when the storm hit. We had a good southeaster, a lot of rain, and the rivers came up. So when we got home, I found the rivers quite a bit higher than when I left them. And I hit those beaches, and guess what? My estimation was good 75–80% of those fish had moved in. So we're looking at a lot less fish. There were certainly fewer anglers, but a lot less fish, and they're more spread out. Conditions were again still difficult. Now after that storm had moved through, it had gotten very calm and beautiful again. But the storm had churned up a lot of weed. A lot of seaweed gets dying at this time of year, and big storms break it free and wash it around and move it. And as you can see here, the near shore places were just choked with weed. I was seeing fish, certainly decent numbers of them, and had conditions been better, I'm sure I would have hooked up a couple. I had some, it was in the right spot, and it was the right time, but the rest of the conditions were just not working in my favor. You know, there was so much weed that you'd cast out and make 2 or 3 strips, and you could just feel the weight of the weed clogging up your line and your hook. And you knew those fish weren't getting a good look. And so that was a bit discouraging, but I'd try to find places on the beach where there was no weed, but there weren't any fish either. They just weren't staging in those spots. You know, I kind of figured out over the years where those fish stage, and there are certain locations they really like to be, and that's exactly the places that were choked up with weed. So again, I'm batting 0. So Judy and I then went up North Island, and if you've never been to the North Island, you really should take a chance to get up there sometime. It's a completely different world from everything south of from Campbell River south. You know, I'd liken it to the difference between the Fraser Valley and Haida Gwaii. Campbell River south is one world. As soon as you get north of Campbellton, Campbell River, it's a completely different world. A lot more rugged, a lot more open spaces, a lot fewer people, and a lot more wildlife. And we did see some wildlife. We only had about 2 days to fish up there, but we had a great time relaxing and just being ourselves again, and enjoying the North Island, the peace and tranquility of that place, and seeing the wildlife there. But turns out there were no fish, none at all. Often in October I've found some fish, and I found out from the locals that I've been a bit lucky in that regard, in that I've been hitting the tail end of the run. For this particular river I like to fish, those fish will often move in September and into the rivers. And so I'm changing plans for next year so that we can try to coincide our visit up there a little bit better. But didn't find any this year. Last year before, we'd found fish. Timing was off. So an enjoyable and relaxing time, but I'm still batting 0. Well, we get back home, and I start hitting the local beaches again, and I found some fish on this particular day. Now, conditions were a little bit better. We had some wind at least, although not much rain. A lot of the anglers had thinned out, and the fish were gathering again in the estuaries, the later part of the run. And I got into a fish. Now, to be honest, I was really experimenting. None of my tried and true methods were proving effective. My favorite flies were not producing. Different lines, different leaders, different retrieves. None of it had produced. So I started playing around, and you'll see I got this fish. Yeah, this is what coho fishing can be. Try to figure out, oh look, it's a decent fish. Try to get him on the reel. Look at that, right in the app. Okay. Just sent him berserk with that little touch. Ooh. Hopefully we can get him let go without too much trouble. Get him out of the water, get him a little release. Well, with that fish, I've learned something new. Fish weren't taking the traditional flies and retrieves this morning at this estuary that I've fished for, 3 decades or more. And so I thought I'd just experiment, just throw a few different things around. End up taking that fish on a black woolly bugger on a very slow retrieve right in the estuary. Something I've never tried before, and it worked this morning. Couldn't get it to work again as the tide's moving and I've got to run now, but definitely something I'm going to stash away a little bit of knowledge and hopefully make use of it again. Anyway, it always pays to play around, doesn't it? You know, if what you're doing ain't working, do something else. Now after that first fish, one after about a dozen days out, I did some more fishing. I went to search a little bit south of home, and I found some rivers down there that hadn't come up to the degree ours had locally. For one reason, the drought had been more severe down there all summer, and the other is that they probably not got as much rain as we had when that late September storm moved in. So when I was driving over them, I could see, there's some water in there, but it's certainly not enough for the fish to navigate yet. I should find some, and lo and behold, I did. They were staging in the bay, and not my first morning out, I think my second, I got into this fish. And it's on Frank's fly. Again, the conditions were really, really calm. Flat, mixed sun and cloud. Not the conditions I prefer, but hey, you got to go. Best time to go fishing is when you can. And very strong. And a good size. And they fight. Like that. That's it. Tire yourself out. I'd much rather you be lying on your side when they have to handle you. Still really strong. I can see he's got it squarely in the yap there. Yeah, that's it. Tire yourself out. I want you absolutely on your side when I bring you in. Head shakes there. Big old kipe on this guy. Whoop, feet together. There's a big old fish. That's a hatchery mark coho. No, it's not. It's got the adipose. That's kind of hard to say. That's a coho. Hey. Coho? I believe it is.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yep. Big old buck. We're gonna let that buck go. Very nice. Very nice. Let that sucker go, eh? Wow. I was wondering, he fought like a chum.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let him swim away.
Hope.
Yep. Oh yeah. Away he goes. Woo! Patterns. I find that when it's really, really calm, the flies like the California Neal and the Klausers and some of the other big flashy patterns are too much for the fish. They're just overwhelm them, I think, and they don't bite those. So a smaller, more sparse pattern like Frank's fly turned this morning into a fish morning. So there we go. We've got two. It was good to get into a second fish and good to produce on Frank's fly. And then the third morning out in that area, I got into these two fish, which was a marvelous morning. First thing in the morning, two fish in quick succession, again on Frank's fly. Oh yeah, spunky. Woo hoo hoo. Go, 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 go. Oh. Still have you. Yep. That's got some life in him. Ooh. Ooh. Well, you won't wear yourself out fast that way. That's a nice bright hen. Holy cow. These are bright fish. Whoop. Yeah. With the same flies yesterday, yeah. Sort of a medium fast retrieve I like. Coho are kind of, you know, they're predators, right? Want to kick in that predator-prey instinct. Whoop! Speaking of which, not close enough, I guess. Ah, you bugger. Well, there is one bright hen. She's got her right in the scissors, eh? There you go, baby. See if I can do this one a little. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God! Oh, freaking fish! I could not catch up to that. Oh yeah. This is a twin of that first one. First thing in the morning, 2 fish in quick succession, again on Frank's fly. So that was my coho season. Again, the message for you is like if you're still working, you're still involved in your career, and your time out on the water is limited, and conditions don't coordinate with the days you have off and the time you can go fishing. You know, it's not you. Can be difficult fishing, and it's difficult to coordinate your days with the times when the weather's right and everything comes together. If you've got more time off, like me, and you're retired, then it just pays to spend a lot of time on the water. Be persistent and go often. Some of my days, again, were only an hour or two. Others were 6 or 7 hours in pursuit. And that produced my 4 fish this year. So I had a great time. It's not always in the destination. It's often in the journey, as they say. And I did a lot of journeying to find these fish this year. But it was great to catch them on the fly and to enjoy some really good outdoor time on the water. Hey, I'm glad you were able to watch and join me here for On the Water. I hope your fishing season conspires in your favor and you get more fish than I did. Anyway, it's just a lesson in persistence, and I hope it's something that will encourage you to keep on getting out there and keep on trying. Thanks for watching.